Hopefully, we're all here together. You can hear me. Things are well. We have a special guest today, an old friend from the Haps days, way back, formerly known as Donald. That's the only clue you're going to get. And then his picture, and his lovely voice, and his beautiful dog, and yes, the wooded cabin that I envy so much. We'll bring him up right now. Oh, look how small you are. We'll make you a little bigger. We'll make you a
Oh,
little big.
that's a good thing.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. Have a day off, just relaxing on my big deck. So
Yes. That is an old joke right there.
that's a really old joke. Actually, what was her name? That blonde woman from Oregon. Um, she actually invented that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I forgot her name.
Do you miss the banter, the craziness of Haps back in the day? You and I have talked a couple times in between. I didn't talk to anybody for maybe a year. I just kind of walked away. I was just wondering if you kind of did the same thing. You purged yourself, and were you on any other platforms?
No, for over a year I was off of everything, and actually didn't miss it. Came
Mm-hmm.
across Kenya somewhere. Um, and he told me about the current platforms, and so I kind of got on it for a couple months, and then got off of it. So there you
You've never been on Restream before, so
go.
Restream we're going to be able to see the comments at the side here if we get lucky enough to get some comments.
No. Okay.
The other thing that you can do with this too after the broadcast is over, if you it's your broadcast, you can actually download the audio or you can download the video and the audio together. So if you wanted to do a podcast, let's say you did something, it could be one of your interests. Now, the other great thing with this is too, that let's say you wanted to put an image up in the future and you and I decided we wanted to discuss something, right? So we're going to put share here. And then you just change this and you click it. And then you and I are both on the bottom here.
Oh, nice.
And then let's say you're about to have your first cup of coffee or you're feeling like you have a blessed Sunday. So I would go over here, I click it, and then we have it here. And now let's say we wanted to have it, I don't know, a different kind of configuration. I just go here, click it, and there you go. We got the top of your head. I can change that for us if we want to change it to something else. We can go like this. We also have this
Oh, nice.
right there, or we have this. Ta-da! Now that's very Haps like.
Yes, it is.
Except we'd have things fading in and fading out. And then we'd have people where their lips would not match
Mm.
what was coming out, or they'd be 10 seconds behind. What
Or,
is it?
or or when Haps first started, you'd have like 8 people on there. Remember that?
Yeah, that didn't last very long, though.
No.
No, that didn't last very long. So, what platforms are you currently on that we could find you?
I'm not on social media very much. I'm on Facebook, Twitter,
Yeah.
or X as they call it now. But overall, I really don't social media very much.
And why is that? Was it becoming toxic?
Somewhat. I could be at fault at times, and then others a lot too. But I'm just too busy right now to deal with that.
That's good. You've been working again, right? You've got. I think the few times I've talked to you, you've had a couple jobs, and you seem to be happy, and that's good.
Yeah, I'm working for the post office right now, and good honest work.
I like that. Good, honest work. Yeah. Well, nothing wrong with good, honest work. And if you work for the post office here, what's your dog doing? What's it chasing? A squirrel or?
A car drove by, and so
Oh, how dare they? How dare they drive by, right?
about 2 months ago, for the first time ever,
Mm-hmm.
we had a bear and her cub in our front
Oh my
yard.
god! Wow,
Yeah, so
that's freaky.
yeah,
That is freaky. So as you can see, we have the moving background here that you can do. The other thing you can do is add music to it that's copyright free in the background, but it won't be Kiss.
Which you would play a lot of that back on House.
I did, and I used to get all these little notices going, "You have used Warner Brothers or whatever it was, the rights to." I wonder who owns their music. I know it was Casablanca at the beginning. It was Casablanca, right? Who
Yeah.
bought who bought Casablanca?
Um, well, after the early years, I think they went to Atlantic. I think.
Oh, no way. Okay.
I think, and then
How many albums did Kiss do you think?
I think close to 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shit, that's a lot of material.
I mean, they've sold more albums than any American band in history.
They did very well the first 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
The first 10 years is probably their bread and butter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, their second album, I think it was their second album, is my favorite. I think I'm not a big Kiss fan. I won't lie. I've listened to some,
That's fine.
but the second studio album, not the live one, or maybe it was the first one. I don't know.
Actually, their first three albums really didn't do very well. They were doing really good in concert and all
Yeah,
that, like the spectacle, and thought they sounded great live. But their first three albums really didn't catch the
but
essence of
I
who.
like them. I think they're good. Like the second album, I can't remember what it is right now, but I
It's
loved.
Press to Kill.
That's it. That's it. That's exactly what it is. And they're in front of something. Is it a building or
They were at a corner in New York where Kiss fans go today to
right?
take that very same corner. But you know,
So how long have you been collecting Kiss merchandise? Well, is that the right way to?
well, when I was a kid, I had quite a bit, and don't want to go into that direction. But when I became a minister, I kind of chunked it all, and and then later in my adulthood, decided to revive my youth, and so started collecting probably in the last 10 years.
And is that still rewarding? Like is that a good investment you think long term? Like is that stuff increasing in value?
Well, a little while ago, I had money in savings, not wanting to go to
Yeah,
my situation, but I needed to find a job to pay my daily bills. And so I bought a guitar from Ace Frehley for $2,000
yeah.
about 8, 9 years ago and sold it for 6,000. So that's a pretty good investment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, for you to be able to have that, insight, that would be great. Like not many people would know how to do that. And wouldn't even know what the value would be. So, did you guess, or was it just? Do you think something that you figured out on your own?
Well, it comes down to you because Ace personally owned the guitar. And so
Yeah,
that makes it different. But I could have held out for a year and maybe got eight. Um,
right.
but it was one of those things to where I wasn't super duper in financial need, but it'd be nice to have a little bit of money when I was in transition.
Yeah.
And so I settled for six. And to me that was a very good value. So,
Now, if you still had it, would it be worth even more now? Probably, right?
I hate to be morbid. It'd be
Yeah.
worth a lot more after he dies.
Ah,
But at the same time, don't want to go there. So,
you're not willing to go throw him in the grave.
no, I mean, I don't think we'd be willing to throw anyone in the grave, just referring to the actual financial fact of that things are generally worth more after someone unfortunately passes.
Passes on. So, if you look at the screen here, is that correct? It's where they have the suits.
Yes. Yeah.
I wonder if that's where ZZ Top got the sharp dressed man.
I don't know.
Do you remember? You remember because they had that one tune, Sharp Dressed Man, which I believe went in the top 10. And because all concepts are stolen, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing new, and there's even a movie called that, Dress
Yes.
to Kill, and like
Yeah.
an old movie, not a Kiss movie, like a
Yeah.
way back, like a '50s type of thing. So I'm hoping in the future you and I can get together, get some of the older Haps individuals, and maybe do like a weekly show. I would love that.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
It would be fun. Now, is there any subjects that are kind of taboo? That's something you don't want to enter. Is there? Are you still talking a little bit about religion? You and I used to talk,
Mhm.
very civil. Who was the gentleman that used to get in heated debates sometimes?
Are you referring to the guy in Oregon?
It might be, or
Um, who was that? I,
yeah, I'm
I
having a brain. I'm having a brain fart right now.
me too. Totally.
Maybe it's
He,
better.
he lived,
Maybe it's better we have a brain
yeah, he
fart.
lived in Bend, Oregon. Blazing,
Right.
blasphemer. Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, back then I would get into,
And Edward. Remember Edward? We used to have broadcasts. It'd be fun to have Edward back again. See what he's doing.
yeah, he's a nice
Catch
guy.
up with him. He would get frustrated with me at times, but he never blocked me.
Yeah.
And I had multiple people block me. Why would someone do such a thing?
I don't think I ever blocked you, did I?
Yes, but I think if it was like for 2 hours,
Too.
I think you blocked me for like 2 hours. That was like, oh,
I
I'm
needed
not
a
ready.
break. Needed a break.
No, no, I think you were mad that we had these um, JSs in the room, and I think you told me that how dare I have these people in there, and that I think even the argument was along the lines of, if you want to associate with these people, then I really don't want to be in the room when they're there. But I'm more than open to doing stuff
Well,
with you.
the biggest argument, the biggest thing I remember having against you uh,
Yes.
back in the day
Yeah.
was when it was around the topic of forgiveness.
Yes. And I went off the rails.
And the thing about that is that you assumed that I was saying that you were a Christian, which I knew you were never a Christian.
Yeah.
But I just assumed wrongly
Yeah.
that all religious people believed in forgiveness, and that's where I came from. That,
Yeah.
and then you set me straight. But at the time, it was rather heated. So,
I wonder if I wasn't just doing that to stir the pot. Because I listen to that now and that sounds so friggin' ridiculous.
well, some people all the time would say Michael says things all the time just to stir the pot.
I think I was. I
Remember?
honestly think I was stirring the pot because I'm thinking about that right now and I'm feeling it. And I'm going, who cares? But it could be I'm older. I'm 60 now. Maybe
Yeah.
I've chilled. Plus that you and I were kind of in a stardom cloud there for a while. We were like mini celebrities in a very toxic world.
Yeah.
And I constantly had people pulsing roses and things, writing books in my chat. So yeah, it was a different time. I don't think I would handle it the same way now.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that a lot of the relationships that mattered to me are still around.
Agree.
And, Nazim, I'm hoping to have him up. Do you remember Nazim and
Oh,
Walt?
he was a great guy.
Walt and Teddy, do you remember that? That was, and Randy W. Horton used to come on for a while. He was the guy that actually introduced me to Haps. He said,
Hmm.
"These people are airy fairy. They're from California. You're gonna fit right in. They're all into feelings." And he says, "I know you're into that feeling stuff." And he said, "I can see things going really well for you." And I was like, "Okay, give me the link." And he was talking to me, and he was in his car, and I'll never forget it. It was raining, and the oh my god, the video feed on it was just brutal. And yet, I don't know. I had belief. I think I liked it because it was new
Hmm.
and it was uncharted territory. If we had this kind of clarity, like I can almost see the glistening sweat on your forehead. Like it is. Look at. But see how clear it is here. Here,
Look how clear.
unbelievable. Yes, you tell me.
The
You tell
dog.
me what. Yeah, but I like that, and you're just on your cell phone. You can adjust the what is it? I think it's 720 that you can go to. The other
Okay.
thing is too, don't forget your cell phone. You're in the middle, kind of nowhere, really, right?
But I'm on my internet. So as you remember, and you chronicled so often, I'm
Yes.
10 Walmart.
How far are you from Walmart again? 10 minutes?
You don't remember that? Almost every day you would
Yeah,
say,
I know. Okay, because I used to go. He's deep in the woods, but only 10 minutes away from Walmart. I remember. I remember. Yeah, he is deep. He's a survival man. He once saw a deer walk by his door, but by the way, he's 10 minutes away from Walmart. I remember. I
you would
remember
say that all the
all
time.
the time. So we have D from Cool. I'm not too sure. We'll put this up here. There we go. Not too sure who that is. But if anybody remembers our dear friend here, Donald, and is interested in doing a weekly show with Donald, and what we're going to do is we're going to come up with different topics, and maybe he'll have three, and I'll have three. They won't be too long. And if it's once a month, it's great. If it's once a week, it's great. The problem with you and I when we were doing it, we were on sometimes three, four times a day, and Tony D
Oh,
was on. Tony D was on sometimes. I swear to God, I would leave, get some stuff done, be like, I know, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I would go back on, say around 8, do something quickly, go back around 10, and that whole area between 4 o'clock and 10 o'clock, he was on some show,
mhm.
drinking pop, Windexing his counters. Do you remember?
uh, 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 flossing his teeth.
Oh, did he floss his teeth? I did. I
Oh,
did.
Tony D would do that all the time, and we would get on to him about it because he said
Ah,
he's there flossing his teeth on
yeah.
camera. Come on, dude.
Floss your teeth, please. I remember that. So, if you could name three things that you learned from Haps, and maybe three things that you wouldn't want to repeat again, without being mean or malice. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll do it. I'll do it quickly. Okay. So for me, the life lessons were listen more. Right. Listen more. Be present when you're on an interview, and do it for the connections, not the amount of people in the room. And
Mhm.
you and I, at one point, we were getting, oh my God, 300, 400 people watching these things. And then it went from that to 1,000 people. And if Randy Horton was on, it was 5,000 people within a week. Now, I don't know if those numbers were inflated, if they were not real. But the other thing that I learned to love from it was we made connections with people from all over the world. And I got to get a glimpse of how other people lived. Being in Canada, I didn't get that very often. So it was wonderful for me to have that. And then I guess the last thing was I learned to be more humble, and if you know that you're not a big deal, then what's the big deal if someone else thinks you're not a big deal? Do you know what I mean? It was a very grounding process of just looking at this as an instrument to connect with people. And I remember when I hadn't seen you for a while and I'd done some healing. And I think it was sad. I think it was sad for a little bit when HAP stopped because I poured so much into it. But then I also was very logical and I was like, this is a business, Michael.
Mhm.
We were just, rats on the treadmill. We were the test subjects. Don't take it personal. And then the three things that I think that I came away from it that kind of made me bitter was be careful on how you use your time. Don't make number two, don't make the broadcast too long where no one will ever watch them. Because some of these were 5 hours. It was crazy. And it was the same blah 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 that they had said the day before. And then number 3 would be the people that you care about, be fiercely loyal to them and don't worry about the new people. Like if someone has become your friend, your true friend, what do they call that? Your ride or die, then stick by them. And it's funny because since this experiment is come and gone, there's probably 10 people that I still am in contact with.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say there's probably 5 people that I really cared about how they felt and how they were doing. And you were one of the 5. And you could probably guess the other 4.
Mm-hmm.
But there were people I thought I was really close to who really did some malicious things too. So that was another learning piece. There you go. I did my part. Your turn.
Things I learned. Um, it was a really rough time for me. My wife's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom's dying. Um, Haps really kind of kept me afloat at that time. Because even though you've been married for 20 plus years,
Yeah.
being apart
Wow.
for months
Yeah.
uh, is hard, and it's hard on the learning aspects of it because I was just drunk all the time.
Well, you were
And,
numbing yourself, right? You were self
yeah,
medicating. That's what
yeah,
you were doing. You were self medicating. And everybody does that. You were in the valley. That's what some people call it. You were
yeah.
in the valley. Where right now, I feel like you're not at the top of the mountain, but you're probably midway up the mountain. And you've probably been at higher highs and had more accolades and felt better. But I think as you get older, it's really the juice of life is now, right now, this next 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Because, the way the world is right now, it's so freaking crazy. It's crazy. We really, we're always assuming we're going to wake up tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're always assuming that everything is going to be okay. Yet we live in a world where technically there's 2 wars going on, maybe more. A
Mm-hmm.
few I don't know about. And I don't want to be at war with the people I care about.
Yeah,
And you and I always fought. And Tony D, we fought like brothers.
yeah.
Yeah, we.
But but
And
but but
that
when, but when you use the term "always fought," most of the time we didn't. But I would say maybe 30% of the time we did.
90% of the time we were in some kind of shit that I was stirring, and it was with other people,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't so much our relationship, but the way people were treating us. And I think our
Yeah.
egos were inflated at times and easily bruised. And now I don't care. You call me what you want, do what you want, you know. But I don't need to also listen to your bull. Like so, that's where I got to the point where I was doing near the Russian flush, and goodbye, Michael. Where'd they go? The Palladian star system. They're
Rem-
gone, flying amongst the stars and the angels. May they heal them, those hedonistic beings. Goodbye. You remember? And we would go on the show, and everybody would be like, "Did he really get rid of? Is that person really gone?" And then we'd get the comments, and that would go on for 20 minutes, which was entertaining, and everybody would laugh.
yeah.
But it was kind of a mix of Jerry Springer meets, I don't know, some churchy show at times because we could get really churchy at times.
You,
Yeah.
you, on Haps, about 7% of the people I really enjoyed,
Well,
and
that's higher than me.
30% I could not stand.
Yeah.
And on the current platform, it's vice versa.
What's the
And
what's the current platform to you? What do you
uh,
assuming is the newest platform?
I forgot what it was called before Cantina, but it's just the moment I got on Cantina, and I'm
Oh,
talking,
what did I say to you about that?
yeah.
Get the hell away from that because
What
what it
what what?
was, everybody who was toxic on Haps
Yes.
went there. It was crazy. Ask me how many times I went there.
Um, Probably twice. Zero. Yeah.
0. And I knew it was toxic, and it was people hanging on to the experience of Haps, and I
Yeah.
did stupid crap because I remember they asked us not to go into Haps at the end. I don't know if you remember this, and I was like, "How dare you?" They told us not to go in, and everybody was in there doing stuff, and still broadcasting, and the last, oh my God, I think the last 3 days I made the equivalent in money that I had made in the entire time I was on there in the
Wow.
last three. And what it was everybody had residual cash left, and they were
Yeah.
like, "Shit, I can't redeem this. Yeah, give it to Michael or give it to whoever was left." And there was only a handful of us that
Yeah.
were doing it. There might have been
Yeah.
10 individuals still doing broadcast, hanging
Yeah.
out. And I had COVID at the
I
time.
I think I was gone months before that. Yeah. And
No,
just
no,
know,
you were still there sporadically. Sporadic. You're right.
my wife's just returned home. Just letting you know. So.
Okay. Do you want to go? This might be a great place to end it if you
Yeah.
want.
I think
Yeah.
I am interested in some things in the future.
Yeah.
And let's keep in touch and figure out.
Yeah. And thank you for being here. And if you can, if someone wants to reach out to you, you said Facebook is the best.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And
And
under Milton Banana or something else. Will you put that?
Donald Newland. That's my real name. And
I,
so I'm gonna let you go right now. And so, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been awesome. It's been great. It's been spectacular to be on this wonderful Facebook Live broadcast with the one, the only Michael Bathurst.
Thank you, buddy. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. That's great. So in the future, we are going to try to get a few of the old Hap stars to come up, and just individuals that we know, and maybe people in our personal lives or our work lives, and we'll try to do a show where we get together or have one guest. I'm hoping to get Joy on here. I'm going to invite her. Nazim, I would love to have on here as well. We've already seen, Fireman Rich, of course, and Tony D, and Ted Hicks, and Brian. I think he's from Texas. So there are individuals who we've seen. But I was very happy the other day to see Joy and to see that Joy was doing well. Thank you for your time today. Have a wonderful Sunday. Get outside, connect with nature. If you can, please retweet this if you can. Put restream, replay whenever you watch it in the future. If you're interested in being on the show, or if you're a musician and you have music that you would like to be played on the music shows, please just leave me a link in the comments, whatever platform you're on. We are currently on 4 platforms: Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Have a glorious day. I'm going to go walk the dogs and enjoy the sunlight. It just came out. And may you have some warmth and healing and nurturance in this new week. God bless you all.